So nothing is simple with this. Dick, you mentioned the thunderstorms around. On the way up here, I ran into a few too outside Santa Fe, but by the time you got up here to Los Alamos, they were the dry variety where you get the water that evaporates before it hits the ground, creates those really gusty winds. So we're getting just as many dry thunderstorms as the wet variety, and that can be very tricky as well. So definitely something that's going to need to be watched because it led to some very erratic winds this afternoon. But for the most part, the winds have been pretty cooperative. Let's take a look here and show you exactly what we're anticipating here and what's been going on with this fire. The fire continues to burn just to the west of town, and in fact, because of those southerly winds, that has kept this fire to the west and moving to the north towards Santa Clara Canyon and not advancing into Los Alamos. But here's the major problem. Tomorrow, the wind direction shifts. It goes more to the southwest, and as you can tell by the arrows, it's going to push the fire toward Los Alamos. Now, they've got good containment lines built, but this is definitely going to test those containment lines. They're also going to get a little bit of help from the Cerro Grande burn area. That has definitely helped on the west side of town, but there is an avenue into Los Alamos that could cause huge problems, and that is Los Alamos Canyon. That is still full of huge ponderosa pines and a tremendous amount of fuel, and that needs to be protected. There were some spot fires there today, but crews got on them very, very quickly, and they're going to have to do that again for tomorrow because this canyon is really key. Now, firefighters aren't without some advantages here. As far as the canyon goes, fire in general, normal fire behavior isn't for it to dive down into a canyon necessarily, but it can absolutely do that. Obviously, it's a huge concern, but it is not the kind of normal fire behavior that can be totally explosive. What can be totally explosive? Well, fire tends to move fastest as it goes uphill. We saw this in the Santa Clara Canyon today as the fire slides up the hill. It's closer to all that fuel. It dries it out and basically vaporizes it. That's what happened to the north and west of here today. So firefighters protecting a canyon is a lot easier than firefighters protecting a mountainside where this thing could run up the side of the mountain. So again, there are a few advantages for firefighters. Now, as far as what's going on around the Albuquerque area for tonight, temperatures fairly comfortable in the high 80s for us right now. Winds starting to go down a bit, and across the northern part of the state, Santa Fe fairly cool. Temperatures in the 60s there, 70s most other places, and then down to the south, temps for the most part in the 80s. As we look at the satellite and radar, things are starting to die down here. Once we lose the heat of the day, we lose the trigger that forms a lot of those thunderstorms, and that's what's happening out to the west at this point. Showers will diminish, but then they'll be back again for tomorrow in a scattered fashion, especially over the higher terrain. But the bigger story, as we'll take a look at here, is the wind. A storm system sliding to our north is going to help to crank up those southwesterly winds for tomorrow. Here in the fire zone, we could see southwesterly winds up to 40 miles an hour at a gust. That is going to test the containment lines like they have not been tested, and this fire weather hasn't been this bad since Sunday. So this is definitely going to be a challenge here. As the storm system, though, lifts away, the winds will start to die Friday into Saturday. So it is going to get a little bit better. That's why I think tomorrow is ground zero. It's where the fight's going to be. If the lines hold tomorrow, I think they're going to be able to hold them beyond that, simply because we're going to get a little more moisture and a little less wind. Let's go region by region for you across the four corners. Temperatures for the most part for tomorrow going to be in the 90s, and we will see those southwest winds as well blowing from time to time. Pretty good chance at some scattered showers, especially over the San Juans. Hoping for a few around Farmington, and as we head late into the holiday weekend and into next week, the chance of showers continues. South and west, you guys will not see the kind of wind we're going to get across the north, so that's good news, but you will have very warm temperatures. And in Silver City, the chance of a spot shower and, yes, lightning-caused fires will continue to be a concern around the Gila Thursday and Friday with temps in the 90s. South and east, not great fire weather. It's still very hot, and obviously over the Sacramentos, we're 90% below average for precip, so that's not good, but we won't see the kind of wind that we've seen before, especially earlier this spring, so some good news there. Roswell pretty warm. North and east, spot showers will be possible again for tomorrow with temperatures anywhere from the 80s all the way up into the triple digits, and the chance of showers does exist all the way through the holiday weekend, and again, we'll watch out for that dry lightning. Northern mountains, scattered showers again for tomorrow, and some erratic winds around thunderstorms as well. Dry lightning strikes will continue to be a concern. Santa Fe in that mix as well. East mountains, temperatures temperatures don't gust, but they do sit around 90 degrees. Winds gust to 40 miles an hour. And finally, right here in the metro, temps for the most part in the 90s tomorrow. We'll have the slight chance at a shower, and that slight chance at showers continues throughout the next 7 days. You guys, no other way to say it. Tomorrow's the big day. They hold the lines. Very good news for Los Alamos. Back to you.
You look like you're ready for war, dude.
I'm ready to go. I got every angle covered. Whatever you want. We'll stick it out up here.
Thank you, Mark.